All right, many of us have been in this position at work before. You see a way to do things better, but for some reason the people in charge won't see things from your perspective. Is there a tactful way to get your point across? The Take Action business coaches, Pete McDowell and Peg Burley, are here to help us manage up, so to speak. So good to have you guys.
Good to be here. Thank you.
You know, this really isn't about kind of that, I can do it better than you can, you know, whole approach to something. Management doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, we've all kind of probably said that under our breath, but this is about kind of making a valid case for change, is it not?
Right, and I think the reason we went ahead and Pete and I picked this as a topic is we're coaching a lot of companies. Sometimes we're coaching the executives and not their bosses. So we're dealing a lot with how do I get my plan, my voice heard from the person that I report to.
Okay, gotcha.
And have them listen and take action.
So the first thing would be, you say, practice patience.
Patience.
It's difficult for adults to do sometimes.
Yes, it is, but it's a really important thing. So if you have, let's say, your CEO who spends maybe 25% of their time on the business and you're in charge of the business, but they have very strong opinions about certain things, sometimes it may be to their detriment or to the long-term direction of the company, and you have to gently let them know what's in their best interest and give them important value and show why it would be better to go in a little bit different direction. But sometimes it takes time because they've gotten to that level over a period of sometimes 30 years, so they've got very strongly held opinions, and you do have to think about the long-term goal and then figure out a way to give them evidence that will get them in a different direction.
And that is, right, your second point here is to take that long-term view.
Definitely.
How do you do that? Sometimes it's hard.
Sometimes you talk to us.
Yeah.
And we did have one example where we were talking to an individual who had the long-term view, was practicing patience, and got really frustrated and said, I'm not seeing the progress I want. And what we did is we went back and we said, we're going to talk about all the things that we have seen and done. And after we went, when you have a long-term view in mind, sometimes you're looking so forward that you don't realize how much has been accomplished to that point.
Oh, sure.
So we went through and just did a checklist of, look at what we did here, 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 here. Like practicing and acknowledging that, you know what, we are making progress so that you don't give up.
Okay.
That you don't get frustrated.
And we've talked in previous shows about having a gratitude journal. This is an example of that with this individual. We've been working with them for about a year with multiple people in this organization. And if you write down the small wins that you've had, and when you're having a rough day, you open up your notebook and look through there and say, you know what, we actually have made progress in 4 or 5 things. There's a half a dozen things that are still bugging me, but we have done a lot. So let's just work on the next one and not worry about doing all 5 of the next things.
And that's what everybody, I think, in life, we try to say, take these baby steps, right, to get to this goal, kind of celebrate the small wins inside of it. And so then you say it's good to show your progress in a face-to-face manner, right?
Oh, if possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Face-to-face is powerful, particularly when you're dealing with a person who has your career in their hands.
Right.
And you've got to understand their body language and how they're feeling at that moment to know how far you can stretch their comfort zone. And that's really what it is about, making them more comfortable by giving you more authority and power.
Well, and you want to keep it data-based, not emotional-based. And whenever you're changing a belief of something or challenging a way of we're doing things, having proof of that in another area is good. So, hey, I came up with this idea based on this data.
Okay.
So coming at it from a fact-based versus emotional base will get you farther.
Because I know what I'm doing. I came up with this idea. And
Exactly. This company or this company that's of a similar size of ours in a similar market has done this, and these were the results.
Right. Remind yourself, too, you say why it's good, right? Remind yourself.
That's it.
Finally, you say to practice forgiveness. What does that have to do with this?
Well, sometimes a business owner who's rapidly grown their business to a very large level and now is the CEO, they came up through the ranks through some path, and they usually have some ownership for some of the things that they went through, and they hang on to those things, even if the market's changed to where it's not as relevant today as it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, right?
Right,
so you've got to go, you know what, that's his history. It's okay if he really loves that part of it, but things are different, and just recognize that there's some ownership there.
Okay.
That's a good thing, too.
I like it.
That's kindness and forgiveness and versus non-judgmental. We call it I'm okay, you're okay, versus I'm okay and you're not
That's
okay.
why they feel that way, because of their history.
So you have to actually adult and be
Darn it.
human. I like that.
I like that.
All
I
right.
like that.
Always
Yes,
a lesson.
To adult. That's what this is.
Be a grown-up.
Yes, you have to be a grown-up.
There you go. Peg and Pete always have great advice for life and business. All the
good.
info on screen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.